night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on him. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They suck.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
You know, they have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. The Pits, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. The Friday Night Freak Show has begun. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM, Channel 159. Let's do this thing. As it's the calm before the storm, the return of the National Hockey League, the Four Nations face-off fallout continues, the criticism, the controversies, the finger-pointing, and everything else in between. We'll get into that a little bit, but actually am fired up for the return of the National Hockey League tomorrow and how it translates. You know, I mean, we've been focused in on hockey so much, and a lot of players, you know, that were in this tournament, are they going to play tomorrow? Probably not. I think there could be some spots tomorrow that we can step up and in. You know, there's some teams that are locked and loaded and ready to go, like the Washington Capitals. They didn't have a single player in the Four Nations face-off. So we'll break it down. We'll take a look at Saturday's NHL slate. George Kurtz will step up and in the Raging Redhead. Cam Stewart in the house. We'll talk basketball with Rob Vino and Tony Finn. Talk some Major League Baseball as spring training exhibition baseball has begun as well. We've got a UFC card this weekend. The Michigan State Spartans are about to beat the Michigan Wolverines 73-62 right now. And I'm going to call out Michigan fans right now. It's pretty pathetic that people have started to leave the arena already. Like, I get it. You know, it's not looking good. The game's going to come to an end, but you can't just leave. It doesn't really work that way. Michigan fans are like, they're very entitled. And I say this as a lifelong Michigan fan. There's like a sense of entitlement with them all the time. Like, oh, this is on. It's like, dude, you know, teams could come back. You know, if the kids see everyone leaving. It's been frustrating. I'm on Michigan in this game. It's 75-62 right now. So it's basically game, set, match, which was frustrating about this. This game was close most of the night. The Michigan Wolverines have gone cold. Like, over the last 7-8 minutes, they haven't scored. I mean, we can get you, like, exactly how many points they've scored, but, like, they've hit a wall. I mean, this game in the 50s, they were sort of going back and forth and stuff. Even when they were in the low 60s, like, Michigan have completely been shut down. They're missing every shot. They just missed another shot, like, on the way out here. So now they're officially about to lose this game. And I can handle the loss. Yeah, I'm a Michigan fan. I don't like losing to Michigan State. It's, you know, it's funny because in football, it's Ohio State, right? Basketball, it's Michigan State. Like it burns. Like it used to really, really eat me alive. Like when Michigan State would beat Michigan. But in hindsight, it's a big game for Michigan tonight. Like first place was on the line in the Big Ten. You got Michigan State at Izzo, and this was the first game that Dustin May has coached in this rivalry. Right, new coach for Michigan. He's got an extension too because they were worried about him bolting for Indiana. So he gets the extension. Izzo's been around forever. Izzo doesn't want to lose. Let this guy in his first game beat him in this rivalry, and it just sets the stage. They play again on the final day of the regular season in East Lansing. All right, so basketball coming up right now. Got the Golden State Warriors and the Sacramento Kings. Back to the National Basketball Association. Jimmy Butler, of course, is now on the Golden State Warriors. The Sacramento Kings, it's been a disappointing season for them. They've had roster changes. They changed their coach. They showed flashes. Like when Christie took over, they started to win a bunch of games, but then reality kicked in again. They trade De'Aaron Fox. And so this team, this is just not the Kings' year. We know about the Warriors and the Kings rivalry. They've played in the playoffs, a couple of times, right? And it's usually pretty intense. Like these two teams, obviously Sacramento's not on Golden State's level in the big picture of things in past years, but like I said, it's a Bay Area, Northern California thing. It's a rivalry that they've got going on. It's usually a fun basketball game. It should be an interesting game tonight. We're going to go over the number in this game. It's interesting. I'm seeing 234.5 right now, but a minus 135. Why are they doing that? What's just the real number? The real number is 237. So the total's 237. The Warriors are 2-point favorites, minus 130 on the money line. I think the Warriors are the play here tonight. And I think the game goes over, although if I had to just play one of them, the total's high. Right, it is high at 237. I think the Warriors will win the game, though. And we're going to play the over. And hopefully we can go 2-0 because I just went 0-2 in this Michigan State game. Michigan State wins. Game stays under the number. And like I was saying, I can handle losing the bet, but it's frustrating that the total didn't get there because it should have. Right, and it was Michigan's fault that it did not. They just right into a brick wall and couldn't score anymore. So it's time to start getting into some Major League Baseball futures as well. Win totals, player props. We'll kick the tires on that with George Kurtz tonight. We got the golf tournament going on. Cam will get us up to date, and we'll see if there's any in-tournament betting opportunities. But the Four Nations face-off, sort of, it's the dust is still settling right now, and the ratings are in. And I got to tell you, if as a betting man, if I would have bet on this, I would have lost. I would have lost. I thought that when they got basically 5 million people on Saturday night, that would be tough to top, right? A lot of people are like, oh, imagine what the ratings are going to be on Thursday for the championship game now. And I was thinking, well, you played on a Saturday night before. It was on ABC as well. It was on network television, which helped the ratings. So like I said, they got 4.8, 4.9 million viewers on average for the Saturday night game last week. Last night, 9 million viewers. Over 9 million people were watching on ESPN last night. 16 million people in North America, 9.3 in the U.S. That's pretty crazy. 9.3 million in the U.S. and the other 7 in Canada. Total viewership makes it the second most NHL game in more than a decade. It was one of the highest rated games ever, actually. If you look at the numbers. The Edmonton and Florida did do well last year with the Game 7, but 10 million people. Seriously. That's a serious number. That even, guys, going into this thing, the NHL was struggling. There were alarm bells going off behind the scenes at the NHL head office is looking at some of their primetime television numbers. Like I said, they were getting into live numbers. They had a couple of 100,000 people watch a game a couple of weeks ago. And, you have to wonder, you look at and ESPN just dropped baseball as well. So you have to wonder, all right, well, if ESPN's getting a couple 100,000 people, I mean, they could put like a strongman competition on and get more ratings and not have to pay for the rights very much, right? So this is massive for the NHL. Although we'll see if they're able to sustain this. Will there be a pop this weekend in the National Hockey League and moving forward? I think there will be in the playoffs. It was a great week for hockey. And now there's like criticism of the Team USA program that they didn't bring enough skill, this and that. It's like, dude, the U.S. could have won the game last night if not for Jordan Binnington in overtime. It was that close. Let's roll.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. We've got some National Lacrosse League action going on right now on television. It's good stuff, the NLL. It's a fun league. You know, they crank music during the games, and it's very fast-paced. It's very, very physical. Like, there's a lot of hitting, and there's fights as well. I haven't seen, actually, a massive lacrosse brawl in a little while, but these guys really do slash the hell out of each other out there. So we got some live lacrosse action going on here right now, and sometimes they have in-game betting for it, sometimes they don't. Tonight they actually do, and I'm glad they do because the Saskatchewan Rush are playing the Vancouver Warriors right now. We got a 1-1 game. It just basically just started, and the Las Vegas Desert Dogs are beating Colorado, the Mammoth right now. It's 7-2 for the Desert Dogs. Desert Dogs, Cam, are owned by Dustin Johnson owns a piece of the Desert Dogs.
That's what he's doing now because he's not playing very well on Live.
He's
a lacrosse guy now.
Wayne Gretzky does too. Wayne Gretzky's a co-owner of this
Cool.
Las Vegas. Yeah, it's a bunch of celebrities, and I think maybe the guy that owns the Brooklyn Nets, I think, might be in on it too. But nevertheless, yeah, they've got it going on in Vegas. That's the thing with the National Lacrosse League. They really do. They're spread out everywhere, right? Like they're missing a couple of big cities, but they really are spread out. I mean, how many leagues, Cam, have teams in Halifax and Las Vegas?
Exactly.
Saskatchewan and Fort Worth.
Calgary.
Like there's a team in Dallas, Fort Worth. Right? You know what I mean? Like they really do have like this, Colorado, Denver, Las Vegas, like they have Canada. Like it is a well-built league. It just never really breaks through. It's just, they're like a metal band, right? They'll always be popular, but they'll never sell out arenas, right? Like they just showed the arena here. It's like half full with the Warriors and the Rush. All right, so we got NBA basketball tonight. Hockey will be back tomorrow. We'll take a look at the lines for tomorrow's games. I played the Warriors, Cam. I took the Warriors on the money line, and I took the over in the Warriors and the Kings game. Wasn't really in love with the total at 237, but at the same point in time, it's 237 for a reason, right? There's going to be points. Sacramento don't play defense, so I expect there to be points. I took the Golden State Warriors on the money line, and I got the over of the game in the lone late start NBA game.
Yeah, I was having problems with this game, Gabe, when I was with Scott. I was like going back and forth. But when I really think about it, Sacramento is one of those teams you don't want to be laying anything with, even if it's 2.5. So I have no problem with your Warriors play. That total is about right, live right now at 237.5. I am on the Rockets. I'm going to give you another kind of crazy pick, like a trapdoor pick tonight, Gabe. I like the New Orleans Pelicans live plus 4.5 against the Mavericks. I know that's like the ultimate dumpster play, but that line's telling me something. Kind of like the Matadors game last night. I really don't believe in the Dallas Mavericks. I don't think they're that good. I know the Pelicans are horrible, and I mean horrible, but I will take them live and hope for the best there in a small play. Utah's getting a lot against Oklahoma City as well, and I don't know, that Michigan State game. You see that kid on Michigan State, Morency. I know you're on Michigan, but man, their guard just kept hitting 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 late in that game. He was on fire.
Yeah, and Michigan was not. Michigan went ice cold down the stretch in that game. I had the over the game, but it was on pace pretty much all night until Michigan just stopped scoring in the last 7-8 minutes. Nothing went in for them. Michigan State are a good team.
They are.
Michigan State are a good team. And I remember I brought it up, like a lot of people were critical of Pete Carroll. The hire. Oh, he's too old. And Belichick and North Carolina. Oh, what are they doing? He's just insane. If you look at Tom Izzo.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at all these college basketball teams right now that are really good, look at Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo's in his 70s, bro. Right? Michigan State are really good this year. Bruce Pearl's like 68 or something. Auburn Tigers, #1 team in the country. Rick Pitino's in his 70s. They're really good.
Kelvin Sampson, he's old. He's old and had a great program.
Yeah, so like this whole thing, like there was the dumbest thing ever. But I don't understand Pete Carroll. He's old. And like all these coaches are old. Hell, Harbaugh's in his freaking 60s. They're all old. Like
Gabe.
You know what I mean? Like Marv Levy went to the Super Bowl. The dude was old. Man. He was like a grandfather, right? The Bills, he was old. I thought he was in his 70s, but he was in like his high 60s, low 70s type of deal at the end of it with the Bills. He just sort of looked older, but in today's day and age, right? You almost need sort of that veteran guy more so that's been around than taking a shot on the younger coaches. But like in college basketball, but there really is a theme of this about like these veteran coaches that have been around forever. If you look at the top 10, they're really having a good year, like a lot of these old dudes.
Excellent point. And another thing about Pete Carroll is you could look at his age. I know guys who are 40 that are more beat down than Pete Carroll. He has a great attitude. He's in good shape. He doesn't act like a senior citizen. That's the whole thing. Like football has kept him young. And I look at some of those other guys too. So yeah, there's
look at
80-year-old.
McDaniel.
Yeah.
Look at McDaniel with the Dolphins. Like, all right, you hired a young, hip coach. How's it working out for you?
I trust you. I'd take Pete Carroll in a race over that guy. Like McDaniel looks more old and beat down, sitting on the sideline, just sitting there. It's one of those things. Like, age is a number. If you love something, you know what I mean? You act younger. And Pete is just one of those guys. He's a very positive thinker, and it's an excellent point by you. Some of these old guys don't act their age, and the young guys are like, wow. Like, when you have a coach that's old and acts young, I would find it very impressive, and he's probably a guy you want to play for.
And also, yeah, there sort of becomes a sense of urgency with them a little bit as well. Like, Izzo's gunning for one last run here. Yep. You know what I mean? He doesn't have 5 of them left. Like, he's getting older. He's gunning. You know what I mean? Like, can we go on this one run? Samson, can he break through and get this thing done? You know, it's the same thing. It's like Sean McDermott. People are critical. I was reading an interesting article about Sean McDermott and about, like, you know, people, he can't win a big one and stuff. McDermott's won a lot of games, man.
Yes.
Right? Like, he's won a lot of games. Like, in fact, I think he's ranked 8th or 9th now in NFL history for, like, most wins without a Super Bowl type of deal. But I was reading, and it's like Tom Landry coached for 12 years before he won a Super Bowl. Like, I can go over the list of coaches, like how long it took them before they actually won. People, like, just panic and want to fire everybody all the time now.
I guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. He's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter. The league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are. Ratings are through the roof. Profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. Friday night free show. We're watching some lacrosse right now. I got money on the NBA game, but I just jumped in on the over of this lacrosse game. It's funny. I was actually considering, I don't bet a lot of unders in sports. Well, it's sport by sport, but I find these lacrosse totals are very sharp. Like, they're always around, like, 21, 20, 22. The higher scoring ones are, like, 23.5, 24.5, 21.5. And this one is 21.5 in-game right now. And I was thinking, Vancouver aren't great. All right, they're not a very good team. I think they're better this year than they normally have been, as in like they're not terrible. Normally, like they're bad. It's the same owner as the Vancouver Canucks, and the guy just really does not seem to
understand anything.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't put any money into the lacrosse team.
Good call.
You know what I mean? And he's got money. Like the Canucks have money. The Canucks make money and stuff. Like he's a rich dude. He owns like a bunch of real estate and stuff. Like the Aquilini family there. They're loaded, successful. You know what I mean? He basically says, listen, you're lucky you have a lacrosse team. Don't bother me about it. Like that's the team. If you want to go, go. If you don't, don't. But from what I understand in the lacrosse world, like he really does not pay a lot of attention to the lacrosse team. They never have star players or anything like that, but they seem to be a little bit better. But I just bet the over 21.5. There seems to be some pace here in this game. All right, so the fallout continues right now from the Four Nations. And you know, last night it was pretty euphoric. Canada won. George Kurtz was with us. You weren't on the air for the goal, Kurtz. But with Canadians, it was more a sense of relief than joy. You know what I mean, Kurtz? It was more like, all right, thank God we didn't lose. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, we won and we're the best. It was more like I even said after online last night, I said, listen, we just won. You know, we beat the U.S., but this wasn't like the best on best in the world. Russia wasn't even in the tournament. And this is like Finland and Sweden, like they might as well have not even showed up. It was all about Canada and the U.S. and this little personal rivalry that they had. But I'm surprised, Kurtz, to see the criticism from a lot in American hockey media of the team that the U.S. just can't win the big game. Now they're being called out. They should have been more offensive. They should have had Tage Thompson on the team and others. I don't see it that way. I mean, they came super close to winning. Binnington made some serious saves in overtime. So are you disappointed with the team, Kurtz, with losing? Or do you see it like I see it, that either team could have won the game?
Oh, I see it closer to what you see, right? Binnington, I mean, what was it, the shift or 2 shifts before the game-winning goal? Those saves were out of this world, all right? I thought Brady Tkachuk was going to end it, right, on that one. I mean, it was a bad angle, but he had what I thought was an open net, and Binnington, wow. Not only did he save it, he covered it up, right? Great play by Binnington. He outplayed Hellebuyck. I mean, not that Hellebuyck played poorly, mind you. Don't get me wrong. But Binnington, I thought, played that well. I know we talked about it last night on Rage. I thought Binnington should have been named the MVP. I thought he played, I know he let in a couple of soft goals here, but that's what he let in. He didn't let it, he didn't get really destroyed in any game. I just love the way he played last night. I do think he outplayed Hellebuyck last night here. So, no, I understand why people are pointing out that Team USA always seems to lose to Team Canada. Always. It's 5 of the last 6 times now, so it is sort of true here. But I thought it was a game that could have gone either way. I thought in overtime, Team USA did outplay Team Canada. And I got to tell you, when Binnington made that save that I'm talking about, you know me, I walk my dog every night. I started putting on my stuff. I put on my jacket, my gloves, and I'm like, that's it. They're going to lose. They're going to lose. And I'm telling you, before that, once McDavid took that shot, before that puck hit the ice, hitting the twine, I was out the door. I was like, you just replay it in your head. Even though I won money on it, it made me a lot of money last night. McDavid, the anytime goal scorer, I got 2 unders here. Team Canada won. But I wanted Team USA to win. I separate my fandom from my money from my fantasy teams. I wanted Team USA to win. Thought they played well. Came up short against Team Canada. I think that's a game, guys, if they play it 10 times, it might go 5-5.
I would say, though, let me ask you, if they played, because I said earlier, if these 2 teams played a 7-game series, I think Canada wins in 6.
I agree with that. That's exactly where I'd have them.
I'd go 4-3 Canada. I bet on Team Canada to win last night. So I'd say 7-4-3. You know, the only complaint I would have about the roster, by the way, is I think Kyle Connor has to play over Kreider. You know, that's the only complaint I would have on the roster there. Is you want a guy
needed goal scoring, right?
Connor
wanted goal scoring, right? Now listen, there was
only 3 goals the last 2 games. 3 goals last 2 games.
Yeah. The Olympics will be a lot easier for teams with the rosters bigger.
guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. I mean, it's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter, and the league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are, ratings are through the roof, profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fun a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, the Pittsburgh Players, the Hustlers, the people, the Busts, and everybody else in between. Friday Night Freak Show, 26-23 for the Golden State Warriors right now over the Sacramento Kings. In-game totals 236.5, right on the pace. The Warriors are minus 1.5 in-game right now. So, the Four Nations is done. There'll be the Olympics next year, and it'll be a different type of tournament, though. It won't be as physical as the Olympics, right? It's different. It's a different style. The referees are different. The Olympics don't stand for like brawls and stuff like that. So
your ice too.
It'll be super fast, right? It'll be super fast. The bigger ice leads to. I used to be a proponent of bigger ice, guys. Like I used to think that the NHL had a problem, right? I was like, there's not enough space on the rink. Like it's too congested. You're not getting any action, but I think they do now. I mean, the players are just so fast at the NHL. They create space, but it's actually like the opposite, guys. And like Europeans will tell you that, and defensemen will tell you this too, that the bigger ice, it just creates more space for them to keep you out of danger zones, right? Like suddenly the corner isn't as dangerous, and like. You can really box people out, like when it's the big rink. But it'll be a different style of hockey. Like, it just won't be this all-out, like, bloodbath intensity. It's going to be more like just speed. Olympic hockey's awesome, though. I mean, the Four Nations was wicked because it was a combination of, like, top skill speed with physicality. The Olympics is just like a video game on, like, fast, like, ultra-fast pro mode. Everyone's, like, just flying around everywhere. But with the expanded rosters, at least there won't be, it won't be the debate anymore, right? Tage Thompson will be on the hockey team, right? I mean, Scheifele will be on the team. Connor Bedard potentially, Celebrini potentially, right? There's what's interesting, guys, too, is like Jordan Bennington. How is he not the goalie again now, right? For the Olympic team.
Has to be.
Right? They're going to go back to him.
I would. How can you not? Maybe he's a money goalie.
He just saved them in overtime. He just saved them in overtime. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe like, you saved our ass.
I'll admit, Gabe, you have more faith or whatever, but the bottom line is not ripping them. But there were people like, you know what I mean? I was just a little bit worried. But the fact that Jordan Bennington, when you really look at his third periods in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, Blues versus Bruins, stood on his head. that game, and those American chances were not just chances. As to George's point, they were like, honestly, 3 or 4 of those could have been buried. He literally was in some kind of stupid video game zone, and that bodes well. Now he could say, listen, big game, big goalie. I got to tell you, Gabe, I was thinking about this earlier too. And you don't want to throw Stu Skinner under the bus, but the Oilers, they're very, very close to being a Stanley Cup winner or whatever. And with a guy like Binnington there and an older player and the contract, that's not too interesting. I'm just saying, in big games, I think that would change the whole things for this Canada team not getting a Stanley Cup. I'm not sure, George, you were nodding with me. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I think it's something to think about.
I said it last night. I was kidding. I said the Oilers, after Connor McDavid, I said the Oilers need to trade for Jordan Binnington now.
Yeah.
But Skinner, listen, you're right. I mean, that's what they've been missing. They didn't lose the Stanley Cup Finals last year, though, because of the goalie, right?
I agree.
They got outplayed. In Game 7. Skinner's hit or miss. I've always said this, though, over the years. And I knew that the Hellebuck narrative was a little bit overrated because you kept on, they got the best goalie. It's like, dude, it's a 3-game tournament. It's like, you don't need a star goalie to win the Stanley Cup. You need a hot goalie.
Yeah.
Right? You need a hot goalie. And same thing, George, with I've always felt this way, Kurtz, with closers in baseball as well. Right? You don't need a Hall of Fame closer. You just need a dude that's in a groove that year. You know what I'm saying? That's the one. So, you know what? People don't want to play running backs. I don't believe in, giving closers, massive money deals and stuff. Right? Oh, you'll be our closer for the next 5 years. They lose it. Right? You have it and you don't. Right? Mariano Rivera and some of these other guys, whatever. They're anomalies. But, the Eric Gagnes of the world and stuff. For me, for a closer, I would just find, this most psychotic, crazy kid on the team that has ice in his veins, right, in the minor leagues or whatever. I mean, this kid, he doesn't care, he doesn't get nervous, and he can throw it 102 miles an hour. You're our closer.
To your point, Gabe, look at all the closers that get hurt. Romano is on fire for the Jays. He's banged up and hurt all the time now playing for the Phillies. What about the Mets and Diaz? These guys can't stay healthy.
Last year. They won with a million relievers, right, and no real stars.
Right, George?
It was just one guy after another, right,
Back when we were roto experts and when we were, we were daily roto and we did a lot of writing. I used to write a column called the Closer Report. And the first paragraph of my column, which I might be writing right about now, is half of these closers won't have the job by the All-Star break.
Exactly.
You just never know.
So true.
Yep. It's every year. I mean, it's going to be one of the hardest jobs because you blow 2 saves in a row, everybody hates you. The fans are on you. The media's all over. You blow 3 saves in a row, you're done.
Yep.
Before, you're right, though, George. Before, though, there was the closer that was set in stone no matter what. You know what I mean? It was he's our guy, and whether he gets hit or not, he's our guy. Like you said, it's almost like the NFL with quarterbacks now. You used to get 3-4 years. Now, man, you get 3-4 games, man. Anthony Richardson played, 7 games? And they're like, all right, you're done. We're sitting
Joe Flacco.
To go to Joe Flacco. Look at Justin Fields. They just won't give him that chance now, right? He can't. The patience level, and you're right with closers. Dude, by the end of the week, you can start off the season. By the end of the week, you blow 3-4 saves, man, 10 days in. They're like, we're going to need to make a change here. That's why, though, you don't lock it in with some star guy. That was my whole point. The same thing with goalies.
I agree.
A lot of star goalies, all right. King Henrik never won a Stanley Cup. Carey Price didn't win a Stanley Cup. Right? You know what I mean? You can go down the list of the quote-unquote star goalies. People you hear every day, Connor Hellebuck. Oh, he's the best goalie in the world. Never won. Right? Who wins cups, right? Sort of random dudes. You just got to be hot. You get hot at the right time to me. All right, so we'll get into the NHL card here for tomorrow as they're back already. I don't know some of the player stuff. We'll sort of look as we go along here. Minnesota and Detroit. See, Dylan Larkin just played. The Wild had a couple of guys in the tournament.
Boldy and who else played for Minnesota?
This game doesn't jump off the screen at me, really. Minnesota, Detroit at 12:37 Eastern time. But then you get Edmonton. Edmonton's first up here at Philadelphia. I would say that, man, there's no way Connor McDavid plays. But Connor McDavid's a psycho, and I don't I don't see him not playing, to be honest. Like, he's going to go, no, I can play. Why wouldn't I play? Like, he's Connor McDavid. He'll be fine.
I could tell you, Gabe, I'm going to say, like, and I know this is probably a crazy take or whatever, but I'd like Philadelphia this game playing on emotional high for Canada. I know Connor McDavid's not out partying or anything like that, but the emotion of playing the States in that tournament, and also Ersson, the goaltender for Sweden, played very, very well in his last game against them. They're at home getting 60 cents against an Edmonton team that had guys like in the tournament. So I think Philadelphia could be a live dog.
Yeah, but Draisaitl wasn't in the tournament.
No, he wasn't. Yes, correct.
And in fact, from a player prop perspective, I think Draisaitl is worth the look. He's going to get ice time tomorrow, right? Like, let's say McDavid plays. They're going to ease up. They're not going to skate Connor to the ground tomorrow, even if he does play. He's listed right now on the player prop sheet, just for the record. McDavid is listed, but I would take a look at Draisaitl to score tomorrow, guys. Yeah, we're back to NHL numbers, plus 120 right now. But,
yeah. Yes.
You know, you see what I'm saying, though, Kurt? You know, Draisaitl's going to get a lot of ice time. He wasn't in there. He didn't play.
That's my early parlay, by the way. Give me Edmonton and Washington. My early parlay in the afternoon. They're both afternoon games there. I think they both.
You're going with Edmonton, huh?
I'll go with Everton. And I love your Leon Draisaitl anytime goal as well. I'll hit that. You know, I'm gonna have way too many hockey bets. It's just I can't wait for the NHL to start back up tomorrow.
I am going to walk into that Washington Capital trap tomorrow. Unfortunately, the Capitals are minus 165 favorites now.
I guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. He is now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter. The league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are. Ratings are through the roof. Profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
There was just a penalty shot in this lacrosse game. Basically, Buddy gets the ball at midfield and he just runs in, and he was saved on it though. Goal, he got in too close.
Yeah,
these lacrosse goalies. Oh, you know what? I don't know. They're redoing it or something right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. They're redoing
lacrosse goalies look like houses. Have you seen the equipment? They walk around.
Yeah, their
it's like
pads
a little
take
head.
up all the net. So like he got in too close. You got to shoot, and they're all fat guys. You got to shoot from further away. Here he is again.
True.
There you go. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they called it, if there was interference or what. I don't know what happened here on that last penalty shot. Like, he got stopped, but they redid it, and now he just scored. We got a 5-4 game. I'm on the over 21.5 right now. All right, so the NHL card tomorrow. We're talking about Draisaitl. Draisaitl, of course, one of the best players in the world that wasn't in the tournament because Germany wasn't in it. Everybody likes Washington tomorrow. They didn't have a single player, guys, that played in the Four Nations. So they're rested. They're going to be hungry, focused, and they'll have a chip on their shoulder, some of the guys, right? Not one of us was good enough to be in the tournament, right? But it should be noted, they got Russian dudes on their team, too, that Russia wasn't in the tournament. So Minnesota, Detroit, the Red Wings are minus 115, Wild minus 105. Don't really love anything there. The Oilers at the Flyers. Like I said, I like that Leon Draisaitl prop for him to score a goal tomorrow. I like the Capitals, guys, but it feels kind of like trappish here at minus 165 right now. Then you get the New York Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres. Rangers minus 120 at Buffalo. What's your pick, Kurtz, or opinion on that one?
All right, they're saying Shesterkin is going to play one of the games this weekend. We don't know if it'll be tomorrow, so for whatever that's worth here. Rangers can't afford to lose, right? They got to keep playing here. If it's Shesterkin, I'm very likely to go with the Rangers. It's only minus 122. All right, the Rangers are the better team. They have to win here. I like the trade they made for JT Miller. I wonder if he's going to play tomorrow. So I think they can't afford to lose. It's the bottom line. They can't afford to lose. I have not bet this game yet. I might change my mind with Jonathan Quick in net, although I don't think so. Give me the Rangers, but if it is Quick, I'm likely to take the over as well.
You, Cam, are you going to bet the Sabres or Rangers?
You're damn right I'm betting the Sabres coming out of the gate to score first goal in the first period of the game. I think they play the Rangers tough. George, that's an interesting total at 6.5. The thing about Buffalo is they got a lot of guys on their team and back in these afternoon games, and they tend to play very, very well in them. Maybe if they get up, we can look at the Rangers live. But I really like the Sabres jumping all over these guys early in this game, and then they tend to have problems with those 2-goal leads. But I'm taking Buffalo tomorrow. As crazy as that sounds, Gabe, I think it might be a trap. Buffalo.
Colorado are minus 135 road favorites in Nashville. Colorado had a lot of dudes, man. Like hell on Team Canada, too. Just alone on Team Canada, the Colorado Avalanche. So that'll be something to keep your eye on as far as the Avs lineup tomorrow. I said, who's listed right now? Everybody's listed to be playing. McKinnon, Makar, Tays, all listed right now. Doesn't mean they're actually going to play, but any thoughts, Kurtz, with Colorado and Nashville tomorrow?
Well, we know Nashville can't score. All right. I wish this was 6.5 total. I wanted to take the under there, but it's 5.5. Getting plus money here, plus 112 here. I'm going to like Colorado in the game. Nashville they've been underperforming all season long. I assume Soros will be in net, and he's been shaky from day one for whatever reason here. Give me the Avs.
Yeah, he was. He's like 0-5 in his last 5 starts in the National Hockey League, Soros, and now he didn't really have a very good Four Nations either. Right? He had flashes. He played well for 2 periods, then he fell apart, right? And then my boy Lankinen came in, played well, then he fell apart, right? It was just sort of like they both like combined, and Finland never really got on track with their goaltending, and they were actually in every game too. Speaking of which, actually, Thatcher Demko of the Vancouver Canucks, we're to the point now, guys, where he can't be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is what it is. And he's out again now, Kurtz. Yep. He's not traveling with the team. Like, it's just constant, right? It's been 3 years now of different injuries, same injuries, random injuries. We don't know what it is injury. He's sick again. It's always something with Demko. Like, he's a good goalie when he plays, but he's in and out of the lineup so much now that he's always like he's not in a rhythm or anything. And so it should be noted, I'm going to bring that up. It'll be Lankinen. Like, Lankinen will be the number 1 guy for the Vancouver Canucks. Lankinen's good, though.
He got lit up a bit. You know that, right?
Yeah, so...
They know as well that they can't trust Demko.
Yeah, no, Lankinen's the real deal. They got him for next to nothing, too, from Nashville. Like, literally.
Great move.
Like,
no Pedersen tomorrow, no Hughes tomorrow. I think Vancouver gets housed.
In Vegas, not the best spot for them.
The same boat. What, Pedersen got hurt? Four Nations and Hughes. I guess Hughes, by the way, wasn't close to playing Thursday. After all that hoopla, he wasn't even close to playing.
Just to play devil's advocate. Just to play devil's advocate, Vancouver can play Vegas tough. You're laying 80 cents with Vegas.
No JT Miller, no Pedersen, no Hughes.
Listen, they got, you know what? Stone played for Canada. Eichel played for the United States. They had a lot of guys on Vegas too playing in that tournament. I'm not saying like it's a big number. That's all I'm saying. Like Vancouver's a weird team. They win these type of games.
No,
like
Vancouver,
Toronto's ass.
they do. Vancouver are good when they're shorthanded. Like they play a system. So like they do sort of step up, but listen, I'm a Canuck guy, but like what Kurtz is saying, there's a lot of guys now.
Oh, it's a lot to ask.
Like a lot of key players.
It's a lot to ask. I know.
I think
JT
if you were
Miller
to
no
take
longer
Vancouver,
on the team anymore.
you're not getting plus enough. You're only getting plus one. Well, at least here, only plus 146 on Vancouver. That's not enough for me if I want to take the Canucks. I would need almost 2-1. Maybe plus 200. I could think about it, but plus 146 is not enough with all the injuries they have.
Yeah, I'm getting here. What do I get on FanDuel Ontario? I'm getting something. Plus I'm getting plus 150. Yeah, so it's not even.
How
that
about
much.
this? The Winnipeg Jets are playing the St. Louis Blues. Hellebuck and Binnington.
That's amazing.
Hellebuck's not playing.
I was going to say,
no.
I wouldn't expect that Binnington would play either in this spot.
No.
If I was St. Louis, I would want to because he's hot. I'd be like, hey, damn right you're playing. You know what I'm saying?
I guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. I mean, it's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter. The league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are. Ratings are through the roof. Profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fun a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. The Friday Night for a Free Show continues. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. We're looking at the overnight lines. The NHL is back tomorrow. The Dallas Stars, minus 115. Road favorites in New Jersey. Devils are minus 105. Totals 5.5 there. Kraken are in Florida. Man, Tkachuk really laid it out on the line in this tournament, too, and he's not 100%. Like I said, tomorrow, really, yeah, he will not be playing. I see Sam Reinhart in the lineup for them. and Sam Bennett, and Barkov, just for the record, and Barkov. So you got the Kraken and the Panthers. The Kraken are plus 195. The Panthers, pretty big favorites, minus 240. It could be too high there. The Kraken plus 1.5 could be worth a look. Who did the Kraken have in the tournament? They didn't have anybody, did they?
Nobody.
Off the top of my head, no. The Ducks and the Bruins. Bruins are minus 210 home favorites, total 5.5. The Carolina Hurricanes are in Toronto. The Maple Leafs are plus 100 home dogs. Canes minus 120. Blackhawks and Blue Jackets. Werenski, of course, played his heart out. Canadians and Senators tomorrow. We talked about Jets and Blues, but Hellebuck's not going to play. We don't know about Binnington. Utah and L.A., and we talked about the Vancouver Golden Knights. Anything in the late night there in the night card for you, Kurtz?
Of course. Listen, I'll have way too many bets tomorrow. Probably not going to touch the Dallas Stars and Devils.
Where are your Islanders? They're not playing. They play
Sunday. They play Sunday against Dallas. Good news for the Islanders, by the way. They're likely to have quite a few of their defensemen who have been hurt back. Pulak and Mayfield should be returned. Yeah. Islanders, all of a sudden, by the way, are going to have a plethora of defensemen. All right, they're going to have too many, so it gives them some trade ammunition at the deadline because of how well D'Angelo played and Boquist from Florida here. I'm going to have the over in the Chicago Blackhawks Blue Jackets game. That's the goals are going to happen there. Probably going to take the Blue Jackets as well in that contest. Canadian Senators very likely doing the same thing, taking the over there. Not so sure I like a side there. Probably lean towards the Senators, but it's too heavy a price. If anything, I would take the Canadians. Jets Blues. I want to see who's playing. All right, if Scheifele is out, which he might be because Winnipeg can afford to rest people because of how well they're playing, I'm going to go with the Blues tomorrow. I think I'm going to take them at home, but they're not getting as much as I would hope. They're only plus 108. Carolina, Toronto, once again, lean towards the over with the price. It's 5.5, so I'm definitely going to have it over, but it's minus 132. A lot of juice there.
Is Austin Matthews playing tomorrow, too, is a big question mark.
Fair
Mitch
enough.
Marner.
Yeah, your favorite Leaf, Mitch Marner. Yeah. They'll play.
There's so much we have to check tomorrow to see who's playing and who's not. I mean, we only have tidbits of information now. More will come out in the morning skate and stuff like that. So tomorrow we're going to be very careful.
Yeah, hockey teams are secretive to begin with, right? And they don't even know, right? They're going to get back. They got to say, all right, do you want to play? Can you play? Are you ready? It's more like emotionally too. You got to get it out, and you could take a day or two sort of to exhale. But Matthews and Marner are listed on the player props right now, just for the record. All right, we got a couple more minutes where Kurtz Ravino is going to step up and join us. We'll talk some college basketball with Vino. But, I was talking about this Four Nations stuff was great, but I've always loved the World Baseball Classic, too. Super intense, and I was thinking about it. The U.S. team in the World Baseball Classic in the last one was really good. Like, the lineup was stacked. Judge didn't play, but other than that, they were pretty loaded, right? Offensively. I mean, hell, they had Mookie Betts. They had Mike Trout, right? They had Trey Turner. Like, they were loaded. But remember, like, a lot of the star pitchers, American pitchers, didn't go. I wonder now, maybe this will motivate some of these other teams, you know what I mean, and athletes in other sports. Because Japan, bro, they're going to have Sasaki, they're going to have Yamamoto, they're going to have Ohtani pitching. Like the World Baseball Classic around the corner, that's going to be a lot of fun next year. And I was thinking, too, I was talking with Donnie Rightside online about this early in the morning. Flag football, NFL players, guys, are going to be in the Olympics in 2028, right?
Wow.
This thing's it's around the corner. And we'll see who the quarterback is going to be. But it'll be the same thing, Kurtz. I imagine it's going to end up being Canada and the U.S. in the gold medal game for the flag football championship.
God, if the U.S. doesn't win the flag football, all right,
yeah.
I know it's not the same as tackle. All right, then maybe Canada just has the thing over him, right? So it is what it is there. But, yeah, I'll certainly watch it. World Baseball Classic, Aaron Judge said he will play next year. I don't know about the pitching, by the way. A lot of teams were holding back the starting pitchers, not the pitchers themselves. Teams are looking for any excuse to keep these guys away.
Yeah, but the Japanese guys won't. They're all in on this, right? So, yeah. I don't see how Team Japan is beaten. I think they're going to win again.
guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. He's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter. The league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are. Ratings are through the roof. Profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in the conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage Level 2. Quickest 120 minutes in sports talk and television continues. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network, Sirius XM Channel 159. I am Gabriel Morency. We're just talking with George Kurtz. Talked about the Four Nations. The W World Baseball Classic is next year. And I've always been a big World Baseball Classic fan. In fact, I've been to two of them before. I saw it in Toronto and I saw it in Arizona. Always a great time. The competition level is awesome. Just the atmosphere in the stadium is amazing. I'm a massive, international sports fan. I always like this stuff better than the league stuff. I'm a hardcore, I like the Bills and Dodgers and Michigan and stuff. But, these international, the World Cup, man. I remember last year, even in the summertime, we had, the Euro Cup and the Copa America was lit every night and stuff. And, man, you just can't top it when countries play countries. And we're going to have a lot of this over the next couple of years. Next summer is the World Cup of Soccer, and it's in North America. It's in Mexico, Canada, and the United States. This year we're going to have the Gold Cup Soccer, a little precursor, leading into the World Cup. And as I mentioned, you got the World Baseball Classic around the corner, and the Olympics aren't all that far off. When I brought it up, you got flag football in the Olympics, which is going to be super competitive as well. So a little bit of something for everybody. Got international soccer, international flag football, baseball. We just had this Four Nations. And, next winter is the freaking Winter Olympics. And you're going to have the best on best in hockey again. Let's bring in Rob Vino, who's not known for his puck prowess, but I know you cashed some tickets, Rob, in this Four Nations. You and I were talking last night. Epic game last night. And you know how I love to bet overs, and I told you before the game. I'm on the under 5.5, although it's pretty crazy that over 1.5 in the first period in the Four Nations went 7-0, guys, in the tournament. Good to see you, Rob. It's been like a month.
Yeah, good to be back with you guys, Gabe. And you're right, that first period, boy, it didn't look like it was going to get to 2 goals, but Tkachuk gets that thing home, and next thing you know, it's 1-1, and we're cashing again. A great game, and no matter what, your patriotic allegiance was. It was a great game overall. Great for the NHL to have an all-star break that actually had a real game, a series of real games. Found myself watching everyone, betting everyone. As you mentioned, I'm not a big hockey guy. I don't follow it. I don't release it to clients because I'm not that knowledgeable there. But I know where to go when I need to lean on for some advice. Gabe, I was texting to see if I was thinking the right way.
9.3 million viewers on ESPN. It's just unbelievable. I mean, they had 5 million people Saturday on ABC, and I'm thinking, well, that was on network television. I don't think they're going to be able to top that on ESPN. They nearly got 10 million people watching at one point. Just great stuff. All right, so we got basketball going on right now. Looks like we're on the right side so far. Hopefully we can get the over as well. I took the Golden State Warriors to beat the Kings, and I went over the 237, Rob. In-game total right now is 240.5. 68-53 right now for the Golden State Warriors. We've just gone to the half officially right now. 68-53 for the Warriors. Any thoughts on the late night NBA card right now?
Yeah, I should have been there with Golden State and probably over as well, Gabe. I talked about it on a show today, but I didn't pull the trigger on either. I'm actually trying to get home and over in college basketball right now. Milwaukee and Youngstown out of the Horizon League looking to get over 152. We're sitting, I think, 149 right now from what I can see. So looking for a couple more buckets. In a close game, we should get the free throws down the stretch.
Rob always got a hardcore college basketball over somewhere.
Youngstown State Penguins. I got to tell you guys, though, take a look at tonight's college board, Gabe. It's Dog City. Like Illinois, Chicago, they covered against Dayton. Even Detroit Mercy, Cleveland State was 8.5. It's 8, won by the hook. I'm like, looking dog. Villanova, small dog against Marquette. They went outright. And the crazy one was Bowling Green outright against Toledo, getting 8 in that game. So it was a big pooch night in college hoops.
I only played the Michigan State game, and I went 0-2. A little bit of a heart play. Took the Michigan Wolverines to win the game. They were in it. I don't know if you watched it, Rob. The over was frustrating because it was on pace. And, look, Michigan State got to 75. They could have got to a lot more. They didn't have to. You know, how many points did Michigan score in the last 8 minutes of the game? Like 4 or something? Like they just didn't score for the last 7-8 minutes.
Yeah, I thought, and I didn't get involved in that one, Gabe. I thought at some point, I didn't know that it would be tonight, that, when you win 7 straight games by 4 or less, or their last 7 wins are by 4 or less, there's a loss. It's going to catch up at some point, right? And it caught up tonight a little bit. But, total-wise, you'd expect more than 62 out of Michigan, regardless of how good Michigan State is defensively, regardless of how good they can pressure the basketball. You would expect more. But Michigan does have those turnover issues still. The 2 bigs are nice. But the turnover issues, when you play a pressure defense, can't come into effect. Real quick here, I'll just say, guys, one of the college hoop totals that I won tonight, actually, we're talking about obscure. I was visiting the MAC, Kent State, Miami of Ohio over. But Kent State, if nobody's looking, just blindly bet them over at this point in time. I mean, what they've done their last 7 games is insane. A team that was so methodical and couldn't score and doesn't have big shooting percentages when you go through all your analytics. But all of a sudden, last 7 games, doesn't matter whether they play a fast-paced team, a methodical-paced team, a slow-paced team, they're going to push that game over. And even though that thing went overtime tonight, it was over in regulation. So Kent State's like, this over train that I've been riding the last 3.
Kent State Golden Flashes. My brain is fried, guys, after last night and the celebrations after the 4 Nations, when they just showed a city screenshot, like outside the arena. And I'm like, it's a pretty nice looking city. What is that? What city is that? I'm looking. It's freaking Vancouver. It's the Vancouver game. And I look up. I'm like, where is this? I'm like, I was like, what is this, LA? They had this big overhead shot. And I was like, looks like, what city is this? And I'm like, it's Vancouver, dumbass.
It's your street, Gabe. You didn't even recognize
it. Hey, everybody.
They had a different shot. They usually didn't use that shot. I was like, it looks pretty good. All right, so college basketball tomorrow. Every Saturday we've had these big-time heavyweight matchups in the SEC. Just looking at the top 25 board here tomorrow at noon Eastern. Tennessee Volunteers and the Texas A&M Aggies -1.5. Low total, 130.5 in this game. The Ducks and Badgers. I mean, I just think over when I see this. It's 154.5. Ducks and Badgers. Badgers are what? They're actually laying 8.5 points. They're laying 8.5 points in this game right now, I see. You got Florida State and Louisville, West Virginia, Texas Tech, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Iowa State and Houston, big-time battle. Totals 131.5 in that one. You got Georgia and Auburn. Auburn, big-time favorite, 17.5, 147.5. Clemson at SMU. Oklahoma State against the struggling Kansas team. And now there was a story about how Bill Self nearly left for Oklahoma State before. Jayhawks are like 14.5 points in this game. Florida's at LSU tomorrow, guys. The Gators are still laying 10.5 on the road, 151.5. Kentucky and Alabama. Man, it just goes on and on. Kentucky and Alabama. Alabama, of course, lost that game last week on Saturday, seeing a big number here, 9.5, 174.5. Duke and Illinois are playing at Madison Square Garden on a neutral court tomorrow. Missouri and Arkansas, BYU and Arizona. We'll get Rob Vino's thoughts. We'll see if Cam wants to ask Rob about a random game on the board. We're talking college basketball. Bring it.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Friday Night Free Show continues. Rob Vino kicking it with us. WagerTalk.com, Rob Vino Sports in the house with us. His boy, Tony Finn, will join us a little bit later on. We're talking college basketball. He's expected to, yes. We're talking college basketball. BYU at Arizona tomorrow night. BYU coming off that big win against Kansas. Arizona laying 7.5, 153.5. A lot of totals here, Rob, with the same numbers. Like, a lot of 151s, 153s tomorrow. I've been betting Wisconsin games to go over a lot this year, and have had some pretty good success with it. What do you think about that one?
Well, I'll start really quick with this game because I was asked today on a different show. Host has a ticket on St. John's at 30-1. He said, "How about St. John's as a flyer 30-1 to win the whole thing?" I said, "That's great. Obviously, if they get you a couple of rounds, you can hedge up." But then I said to him, I don't know what the odds are on Wisconsin, but I would take a flyer on Wisconsin right now. John Tanji and those guys, and they had a game 2 games ago. It wasn't the last game, it was the game before. Second half, they had 31 possessions and scored on 26 of 31 possessions. That's insane. You can't score on that many possessions in college hoops, but they did. They execute flawlessly right now. I'm with you, Gabe. And Oregon doesn't play a heck of a lot of defense, but the offense has come alive. So that total, I think it's been bet up a little bit off of the opener. Maybe not that much, but it's hard to play Wisconsin under anymore. And you know what? We've been around long enough to think that I don't know that we'd ever thought we'd say that. You have to bet Wisconsin overs right now because we're used to 60-58 rock fights.
This isn't the Bo Ryan days of yesteryear. Wisconsin 21-5 straight up on the season, guys. A very robust 17-8-1 against the spread, 16-10 to the over on the season. Meanwhile, the Ducks, as Rob stated, their offense has started to pick it up. They're 15-12 to the over on the season. So that game sort of jumped off the screen at me. You got Tennessee and A&M in the morning, Rob. That's a pretty low total of 130.5. Any opinion on that game?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't try it over, Gabe, just because of this is a time of year where the jockeying for conference tournament seeding goes on, the NCAA tournament jockeying for seeding goes on. But these two teams separated by 1 game in the SEC. Texas A&M actually is a game ahead of Tennessee. So big one for Rick Barnes' crew to go on the road and try to get. The problem I have with A&M is that, when your offenses throw it up on the glass and go get it, and get your second chance, your third chance, your fourth chance against a Tennessee defense, that's tough. And I think the same could be said on the Tennessee side. They're going to find it tough to score on A&M. And I think the intensity the sense of urgency for Tennessee probably brings their defense out. Good game. I didn't play it either way yet. At one SEC game, real quick, guys, that I did play right off the opener was Arkansas +1.5 at home against Mizzou. Mizzou off the big win against Alabama. Arkansas off the heartbreaker against Auburn. But Calipari's team, the 8 games since Boogie Fland went down, they're 4-0 at home, straight up. They're 0-4 on the road, but the 0-4 on the road are really competitive. It's a really competitive 0-4, including the Auburn game last week. So I think Calipari's finally established an identity there. They're more defensive-minded. They'd rather play it slower and grind you. And sometimes when you take a fast break, 3-point shooting offense on the road, that's the type of team you don't want to see. Arkansas's got a little bit of revenge. Missouri buried them over a month ago, I think, at home in Como. But Arkansas is one of those bubble teams that I think will come through tomorrow. I mean, you're on the bubble for a reason, but I think Arkansas comes through tomorrow at home.
Big-time game with Iowa State and Houston. Cougars 22-4 against a 21-5 Cyclone basketball team. I like to try to bet the overs with these teams that nobody wants to bet the over with because you get such low numbers. And I try to attack Houston Cougar overs when I can. What do you think of this one, Rob? 131.5. They're actually 13-13 total-wise on the season. Iowa State, same thing. They're 14-12 to the under on the year. So there's sort of right there. But this is a game that should be a rock fight, right? It's a low number. But when you look at Iowa State, I mean, they do routinely get into the 70s offensively, this basketball team. And, there's always the talk about, Houston can't score, and this is why they're not going to be able to win, a national championship. They've been better offensively as well. What do you think about this total of 131.5, Rob?
Yeah, I think if you play total here, Gabe, it would have to be isolated to team total Houston because for Iowa State, it's a big problem, right? You're without your top 2 scorers. Gilbert and Curtis Jones aren't playing tomorrow. That takes away, I think it's 31.5 points out of their offense right off the bat. And you go up against a Houston defense, it's just going to be so hard for Iowa State to score tomorrow without Keyshawn.
That's why it's 12.5. Yeah, massive.
Yeah, it took off. I think it was 9 off the opener, and then the word came out, and it went to 12.5. So if you're going to play total, I would probably look at a Houston team total if you have faith in their offense. And you're right. The reason why they can't win a national championship, you have to win 6 games in a row, is inevitably there's always one game where Houston will just start bricking and put up like 23% from three, and they go out of the tournament because they can't shoot it well enough for 6 straight games. But in a one-game situation here, I think Iowa State beat them earlier in the year, too, so it could be a little bit of revenge for Kelvin Sampson in Houston.
Some payback.
Yep.
Cam, what catches your eye on the board?
I want to get both of you guys because this game, to me, this is my style right here. Clemson and SMU, one of the more underrated games. Take a look at these guys. 21-5 Clemson, they're hotter than hell. And SMU, they're 20-6 and they're on fire at home. Clemson's pretty good on the road, guys. What do you think of this one? Clemson laying 2 at SMU. This could be the more underrated game on the Saturday card.
Rob, what are your thoughts?
I'll go first. Yeah, I think Clemson's probably the right side. Cam, they're just steadier than SMU is. SMU had a nice bounce back the other night, right? But they scored 97 coming off of the loss the game before. But I think when they were contested by Louisville at home here, Louisville destroyed them. And Clemson, not that they have the type of, high-octane 94-foot offense that Louisville does, they're so efficient from the offensive end that and they're good enough defensively to put the clamps on SMU. Probably a close game, but I think Clemson's that much better at this point in time. I'd like that side.
One thing about Clemson as well, sign of a good team that could be a dangerous team come tournament time, they're a good road team. They're 6-3 on the road, right? They've gone on the road. They beat Georgia Tech. They beat Pittsburgh. They won on the road. They beat NC State. Their last game was a road game against Florida State. They're a good road team.
I guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. He is now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter. The league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are. Ratings are through the roof. Profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fun a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. We're breaking it down with Rob Bino, Cam Stewart in the house. Tony Finn's going to step up and in a little bit later on, tentatively, as Cam stated. All right, so college basketball tomorrow. Talking about some of these bigger time games. Just for the record, right now, the Sacramento Kings going on a little bit of a run right now, 71-60. Second half has just started. 10 minutes left in the third quarter. In-game total is 242.5. You know what? We got a close one, too, guys, in H-Town right now. The Houston Rockets and the Timberwolves. Rockets, it's 91-90 right now. They're going back and forth. T-Wolves are plus 3.5 in-game. Totals 248.5 right now in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we get there, guys. It's already 91-90 right now with 2 minutes left in the second. And the Thunder are rolling the Jazz. The Thunder really are just rolling teams. 111.95 right now, in-game total 241.5. Any opinion, Rob, on the in-game NBA action here, the T-Wolves Rockets game?
Yeah, I mean, if that game doesn't get over that number, Gabe, they had 86 at the end of one. It was 48-38. It was a crazy first quarter. I mean, you're supposed to get to 250 in a game like that. So I find that number to be a little bit low. And if it stays close like that, there's no separation in the fourth. You'll get that last 60, 90 seconds of score foul, that type of thing.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in on this one, over 248.5. I jumped in on the over of this lacrosse game. I got over 21.5. I see in game right now is 21.5. Wow. So we're sort of right. We're right on it. Doesn't really feel like it's getting there. It's 6-4 right now. I guess so. It's picked up a little bit. It's 6-4 with 11 minutes left in the third. Betting a little lacrosse action this evening. Any other games, Cam, on the board you want to talk about? College basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gabe, I don't know exactly what's going to go on, but I always have to give you guys like a dumpster special type of game. That's what I do, Rob, and I don't know if you're going to play them. I'm actually going to go, okay, what do we got here? Wyoming and San Jose State. I don't know why I'm looking at this game. Total 135. What do you think of this one? I like to bet some of these weird games when I got the hockey going in the afternoon. It's at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Any opinion? Sorry for throwing you such a random game.
Yeah, well, it can't get any worse for San Jose State, right? I mean, they get absolutely crushed the other night by Utah State. It was never close from the beginning. And they actually got Udogie back, their leading scorer for that game. They had been playing without their top two scorers for the two prior games. Got him back. It didn't matter against Utah State. I'd expect that they play better here in this game. Still a team that can shoot, and Wyoming's not a team that gets a lot of separation. So I might look underdog there. If I was going to play, I haven't, but I would expect more than anything San Jose State to be far better in Udogie's second game back. And they may even get McClendon back in this one too. And if they have them both back, be even better for San Jose State.
Spartans have been a good underdog at times this year. They've blown, the two San Diego State games, unbelievable. I cashed tickets with both of them by taking the plus the points and then the money line on the other side. But we're talking about a team that's been a covering machine this year, right? You're only getting 4.5 here. They're 18-7-1 against the spread, San Jose, but they're not a very good road team. Let's call it out for what it is, right? They've won 2 games on the road all year. They're 2-8 on the road.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a very, very big problem. Yeah. Like, I got to tell you though, one thing though, like
I don't trust them in this spot. I'll just tell you, it's not enough points for me.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the total at 135? Is it a good number or is it low? I know you guys bet more overs than I do.
It sounds low to me, Cam. San Jose State's not a defense that's going to lock people up. So Wyoming, for what it's worth at home in altitude, let's say they get to 72 in this game. It should get beyond 135 if they can get to that mark. And I would think that they do. So my choice would be over.
Rob, before we get you out of here, what's wrong with the Dodgers, man? We're 0-2.
They were winning that game until your boy Miller got that ball. He got a 105-mile-an-hour liner off the head, and Pharrell's like crack going, ha, ha, ha. I'm like, dude, the guy could have died. Like, what's the deal here? Like, I know everybody hates the Dodgers, but that's scary stuff. I don't want to take a line.
It's a reminder that people think spring training doesn't matter. Yeah, the ball still comes at the same speed at your head. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right, it does.
You got to be ready in spring training. Otherwise, you're going to take a ball off the head. But they've lost both games. They play again tomorrow, so whatever. I haven't bet them yet, so tomorrow I'm going to jump in. Just out of the blind, we won't go 0-3.
Exactly.
They're playing the Kansas City Royals tomorrow.
Ooh.
Rob Vino, WagerTalk.com. Rob Vino Sports on X. Great stuff, Rob.
guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. He's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter. The league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are. Ratings are through the roof. Profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Thanks to Rob Vino for kicking it with us on the program. I'm Gabriel Morency, Cam Stewart in the house, and Rob just asked about March Madness. Said he's going to be in Vegas for March Madness. Asked me if I'm going to be in Vegas for the tournament. I won't be. I do enjoy it, though. Like, I do, it's been a few years, actually, since I've done it. It's sort of like if it's like a rite of passage. It's almost like a better spring break or something like that. I was going to say it's kind of for younger people. You know what I mean? I'm not as robust as I used to be, right? I used to be able to do this tournament like the opening day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just party through and be up all night at the casino. And it was like, all right, tomorrow, when's the game? You know what I mean? Now it's like, I'm thinking, it's like, I don't want to be there for 4 days. And
we used to do it every year, Gabe. We used to do it every year.
Like, exactly. I've done it a million times,
We can still party and stuff like that. The key is you got to be like those Kansas Jayhawk windbreaker guys. Just have a couple beers, do your thing. Like, the problem with me and you is we're all or nothing. Like, we come out of the gate like a rocket, and then it's like ding, 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 ding.
Well,
then
you
we
stay up till 4 or 5, 6 in the morning, and then the next day the game's sitting there in the book, and you're like, oh,
I know,
God,
just sweating profusely. You're like, look at Cam. He looks like he's like purple.
The only way out of it is to keep on partying, right? When you feel like that, because you're in Vegas. You're like, well, I didn't come here to just sit in my hotel room and sleep. So
you're so right.
All right, I'll suck it up and I'll just keep going. And that just wears you out. But also, what I don't like about it is, and I've listen, I always love Vegas, but Vegas is in a weird spot right now.
Agreed.
They're in a weird spot right now of their prices and what they want to be. They need to reevaluate themselves again, Vegas, which they do every sort of decade or so, right? I mean, it's gone. In the old days, it was like, the Rat Pack and stuff like that with Vegas. And then they got into what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and come here to get wasted and party, and don't worry, we won't tell anybody. You can do what you want. And then they said, you know what? All right, this is getting worn out. Then they sort of went more family orientated for a little while. Then that didn't really work. And then they kind of caught on about 20 years ago. Steve Wynn was the one that figured it out, that you were not going to make money from gambling, right? People think, oh, Vegas is gambling. They don't make them, they make money from gambling, but like Steve Wynn was the one that realized, because he said everyone has a slot machine, everyone has a blackjack table. He goes, what's the difference between a property? He goes, you need to have like events, and you need to have like stars playing and give people a reason to want to go to your property. So like all these places in Vegas now, they make like, they don't care about your $25 blackjack playing and stuff like that. They want to get you. They want to get you for like $300 bottle service and $400 at the bar, right? You're going to go to the nightclub. Oh, it's $180 to get in, and you want to go to the pool? That's what I don't like about Vegas now. In the old days, when you were in a hotel, you could just, all right, I'm staying in a hotel, I'm going to go down to the pool. Nowadays in Vegas, you're staying in a hotel, you go down to the pool, and they're like, yeah, that'll be $140 for a chair. Oh, you need a towel. Oh, you're not allowed to bring your own towel, so you gotta pay us for the towel. Like, you don't just pay for a cabana. You got to pay just to get a freaking seat now. I saw someone yesterday on Twitter, like it's a big topic of conversation out of Vegas prices, and somebody on Twitter was bitching. They got to Vegas, they arrived in Vegas, and they sat down. They got a beer at the airport, Michelob Ultra, $17.50. $17.50 for a beer at the airport right now in Vegas. It just turns people off. And Vegas's numbers are going down a little bit right now. Like they have more rooms that are not being rented suddenly because they charge locals to park now, right? Like everything is just over the top greed with them. And then you get into these March Madness type of deals, like the Super Bowl. Listen, Circa's an awesome spot. It's a great property, but it was like $500 to watch the game there. So, like,
seriously?
You're literally, I mean, hell, it was $3,000 to get into the game, the real game, right? I mean, I just saw one of the casinos in Vegas. I think it was Caesars. They just put out their March Madness package, and it was like $850 a day or something. Like, so, like, I didn't mind. Like, in the old days, it just used to be, whatever casino you were at, and it would be packed, but you show up, you get your seat, and, it would be a great atmosphere. Now it's like, no, it's just point blank. You got to pay, right? Unless, you find some local spot. Tony Finn knows all about it, being in Las Vegas, Nevada. And, Tony, you've been there forever. I was talking about, like, some of these March Madness packages and stuff. Like, you got to pay, like, $1,000 for the day just to watch the games, Tony. Like, that's why, like, I don't go. I used to go to, like, Vegas all the time for March Madness and just roam and walk around from casino to casino and sportsbook. But now, whatever, dude, you roam, and it's like $400 to get a chair at a sportsbook on a Thursday at the NCAA tournament.
Oh, so, yeah. Listen, I think it was 10 or 12 straight years I never missed opening Thursday and Friday in Vegas, March Madness. It was the place to be. It was arguably the most fun I had in Vegas. Those 2 days and that weekend. Much different now. We used to get VIP seats at the Bellagio Sportsbook years and years ago, but all that stuff started disappearing. As you said, things became more expensive. They didn't give things away. Vegas isn't what it used to be. You and I, $1.99. Maybe it's not the time you lived here, but $1.99. Breakfasts, steak and eggs. All you can drink. All those kind of things are not what they're not here anymore. It's just the way it is.
Another thing too, and I told Gabe this, Tony. I get it. And the thing is, the horse players are the old guys. Gabe, remember I told you the trick to get more tickets and stuff. You went to the Golden Nugget. We're paying $300 a game, and no offense, because we know Tony Miller, but I'm getting one drink ticket, 2 drink tickets. Like, you should give us a handful. Like, we just dropped huge money on these games, and it's like a friggin' beer. Like, it's and like, what about the currency exchange game? Like, after, like, I just had a talk with my brother. He used to go down to the Nugget every year. He's like, I'm not going down there. He goes, I'm going to the Philippines. Like, I'm not going. Like, you know what I mean? It's just that we used to do that trip. It's too much, Gabe. It's too much. I'm with you, bro. Like, it's so expensive now.
You don't get to play. You don't get to play anymore,
turn
Gabe,
around,
either.
though.
I mean,
you think
you
so?
see it though, Tony? Yeah, it'll turn. You see it, Tony, because they're struggling now, right? The vacancy rates are high. Like, less people have gone to Vegas recently, and they're noticing. Like, they notice everything, right? They count the numbers daily. How many people are coming through the airport? What's the vacancy in the hotel, et cetera? Like, and they're seeing, but it's not going to be an overnight deal. But it's sort of like it goes back and forth. Remember in the old days, it was like, oh, you're not going to win playing slots on the Strip. You got to go to Fremont Street. Remember, they were like looser slots, etc. I just saw, guys, this week I was reading a story about how it's the opposite now.
Interesting.
Like Fremont has become so trendy and popular that they've tightened it up. Like the slots are not looser. And in fact, the Strip properties are kind of struggling to get people to get into their buildings. So they're letting people win a little bit more, actually. So like that's what I said. Like it goes back and forth. But remember, like the F1 goes into Vegas, and they alienate locals. They charge so much for it. They upset F1 fans. They just upset everybody with this stuff. And I remember the Chamber of Commerce of Vegas, whoever, one of the head guys of the casino corporation, whatever, they were on a conference call. And they basically said that Vegas isn't what it used to be. They said, quite frankly, like they said, what about the people who just want to walk around and drink and get cheap hot dogs and have fun in Vegas? Yeah. And he said, quite frankly, this is not the place for you to come, like, for the next month or so. Like, they were like, they want a more upscale customer. They want people with money there. They don't want some dude in a Hooters T-shirt walking around like, hey, can I get a free hot dog?
Where do the dudes in the Hooters T-shirts and the hot dog guys go now? Because I like those guys.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
The windbreaker crowd.
Like, there's so many of them. There needs to be a new place, right? Stations Casinos, right? They got the $2 hot dogs still. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, Cam. It's going to come back. Ellis Island kills it because of that, actually. Ellis Island.
I guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. It's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter, and the league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are, ratings are through the roof, profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. Speaking of March Madness, remember we watched that Circus of all places. They had a sports book, and the Vince Neil bar was still there. It was fun. Circus used to be a fun spot. It's always been the rips. It's the worst place ever, and this and that. And it really is. It is though. Like the elevators don't work. People get stuck in the elevators, and like bad stuff happens all the time there. It's dirty. It's for sale now too. And when people saw the asking price, they were like, no way. but there was a reason for it. It's $5 billion they want for Circus Circus. And the thing is, though, that property, guys, Circus Circus is big. And that parking lot that they have in the back is massive. They own the lot. Remember, Tony, they used to have the RV lot there and stuff? Like, they own all that lot, all the way basically up to Sahara Boulevard, bro. Like, they own that. Like, that whole
They still do a lot of shows, too. They still do a lot of outdoor shows.
Yeah. They do the outdoor concerts. Yeah, like, I forget what it was. I'm not going to say it was 9 miles. It was a serious amount of blockage, though. That whole thing. And also, it's an eyesore, right? You got the Fontainebleau, which is really nice looking now. You got the Wynn, which is nice looking. And then you got the freaking Circus just sitting there, like with that ugly clown, like smoking everything. I like that clown too. Like that clown, he's like, screw you, you're never getting rid of me. He's got that face, he's like, you're never getting rid of me. Like he's just
it's like the clown for like Stephen King's clown for Mint. It's like, come on, gamble here. I love that guy.
But even like half the stores are closed in there and stuff. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
All right, Tony. What are you looking at college basketball? We spoke with your colleague, Rob Vino, earlier, looking at some of these games. We talked about the Iowa State and Houston game, Tennessee, Texas A&M, et cetera. Any of the top 25 games you like tomorrow?
There's not a lot. I like 2 or 3 games now. I will say this. A lot of guys, a lot of people I talked to today, a lot of guys I respect are liking Iowa State, but there's not this Houston team. This Calvin Sampson's got this team playing so well. If you watched them play their last game in Arizona, for instance, they were just good. They're just good. If they can shoot the ball like they shot the ball the last couple of games,
I think they're going to be in the Final Four. Yeah, they're going to be right there.
I wouldn't argue that. I don't
think they get knocked off in the first 4 games, and then they're going to run into one of these SEC teams, and we'll see. A lot of these SEC teams shoot a lot of threes, right? They could get cold in the tournament. Yes. There's a lot of those teams really live and die with the 3 ball. Look at Alabama.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, I like this. If you're going to talk about one more top 25 team, or at least maybe a Power 6 conference, would be the Oregon and Wisconsin. Typically, I would say, listen, that's a lot of points in a Big Ten game to be giving to an Oregon team that we know is capable, has an Hall of Fame coach that typically is better this time of year than they are early in the season. However, I like this Wisconsin team. I like the way they're playing. I think they're the best team in the Big Ten right now. After even with Michigan State, everybody's talking about look how they cruised through Michigan. Listen, it was a tie game. It was a 3-point game, 5-point game with 3 minutes to go. So it was a good game, and Michigan State did what they're supposed to do.
Michigan just hit the wall. They just hit the wall offensively tonight. They couldn't score in the last 6-7 minutes.
3-minute stretch, they scored nothing from 10:30 to 7:30, nothing, and that's when Michigan State kind of took that 10-point lead and never relinquished it. But Michigan fought back. But when Michigan State shoots 40% from 3-point land, this is a team that shoots under 30% for the season so far. They're going to win a lot of games, and they're pretty darn dangerous. That coach is begging, dying. He'd sell his soul right now to see a Final Four. It's been so long. Like you mentioned last week, how long has it been since the Big Ten won a championship? Long time.
Tom Izzo and Michigan State.
Right.
People talk about that like the West Coast drought, which has been insane, right? They haven't won since 998 or whatever the hell it was, 96 or something crazy. But same thing with the Big Ten. And I think people are sleeping on the Big Ten a little bit this year. And there's been so much talk about the SEC, the ACC, with Duke, and the Big 12 is always the Big 12. But I've thought in the past, guys, the Big Ten basketball was overrated, right? Yep. Sort of like their football. They used to boast, Big Ten this and you know what it's like to play in the Big Ten. It's like, you guys just beat each other up. It's like, all right, it's it's good basketball, but you're not as good as you think you are. It's kind of different now, though. I think the Big Ten is better than people realize in basketball now. It doesn't really
game.
Everyone's paying attention to these other teams. Like, hey, you know what? Like, Wisconsin are really good. Michigan State are really good.
They're really
Michigan
good.
are going to be tough to deal with.
Yes.
Like, Purdue can beat you. Like, there's good teams there.
The thing about it, too, is
good team.
Maryland are hot suddenly.
That's the thing. The Terps are blowing teams. So, like you saw what they did to USC. That's the thing, Gabe. You look at it's like a stock. Again, everyone's like, ooh, they used to be overrated. No, they're underrated. And I'll tell you about these SEC teams. Sure, they can go cold. Big Ten teams, when it comes to push and shove, it's kind of like a fight. Those are the guys that you take, and they're battle-tested, and they're kids that are tough. Like, you see that Michigan State team with Izzo, man, they look like they're grinding. They're getting better all the time. Holloway, that guard, is absolute ice water in his veins, hitting those threes. And they're very good on the boards. Like, Michigan State's scary, too, and Wisconsin's on fire, Gabe. You talk about it. They score points. They score lots of points. I like it.
That's my bet for tomorrow. I'm going over the 154.5 with the Ducks and the Badger game, Tony.
I will say this, Gabe. The one thing kept me away from that, and it's hard for me to play Wisconsin under the way they're playing. But at home, the dichotomy at home and away is incredible. This is the Wisconsin team that ranks 101st overall in defensive efficiency. If you look at Ken Palm, for instance, 66th in points per possession allowed, compared to 101, as I just mentioned, allowed at home. They're only allowing 14.2 points per 100 possessions. Fewer. I mean, they are fewer. 14.2 points per possession, per 100 possessions, fewer at home than on the road. So be careful with totals in Wisconsin.
Tony Finn with us. All right. Saskatchewan are rolling Vancouver. I told you guys they're not very good, the Vancouver. They're losing 10-4. There's 13 and a half minutes left. I don't know if I'm going to get to my 21 and a half.
They're really good.
I need goals. Like, Saskatchewan's got 10 goals. Vancouver's not helping.
More goals, Saskatchewan!
I guess this is the battle for second place in the NBA's MVP. It's been Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was like minus 250 a couple months ago. Then last month it was 3-1. I mean, it's now up to minus 440 here.
Voter fatigue is a real thing, but there is a chance for him to maybe go on a hot tear, go on a stretch that maybe opens the conversation back up a little bit. I wouldn't say Shai's completely out of the woods just yet.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You watch playoff games. The playoffs are all that matter. The league's got an issue. They just don't want to admit it. They brag about how huge they are, how global they are. Ratings are through the roof. Profits are through the roof. I mean, between the NBA and NHL lying about their ratings and the money they make, I'm sick and tired of it.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
I talked about AZ Fudd a lot, folks, and said when she got back from that knee injury, remember, it's the second ACL tear she's had in her career, that she was going to be a difference maker. UConn is plus 330. They're not going to get challenged again in the Big East until they come out of conference play in a conference tournament. I still like them at plus 330 to win a national championship.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're to the home stretch here on the Friday Night Freak Show. This is SportsRage. I am Morency. It's 100-83 for the Golden State Warriors. So good news is we did pick a winner on the right side of this Warrior game, unless they blow a 17-point lead. But in fact, I already got paid for it because they got up by more than 17. The total, though, is right on the number. It's 241.5 right now. We got 237. It's 241.5. I don't know if it's going to get there because the game's kind of a blowout. So we'll see. Meanwhile, We got a real close one still. 111-108 right now. The Houston Rockets are up on the Minnesota Timberwolves with 4 minutes left. Total 241.5 right now in this game. Tony Finn with us. We've only got a couple of more minutes left. So, Tony, you said you like a couple of college basketball games tomorrow. What are you looking at?
Well, I do. I like listening. We talked about top 25, et cetera. But I'm a big fan of Houston tomorrow. That's a big number you're going to lay against an Iowa State team. But Iowa State's missing Gilbert and Jones, Keyshawn, Curtis Jones,
Yeah.
Iowa State. So if you like Houston, I think if you lay the number and you play under the total as well. I like this Wagner and Chicago State game. And I said, what? Well, Chicago State, they ranked 300.
I love
they
it.
362nd in points per possession on offense. They face a Wagner D that's ranked 22nd in defensive rebound percentage. Well, how do they correlate? Well, what it means is this, and that is that you take Wagner in a pick here. In fact, I had Wagner at -6 before the game and I saw the discrepancy, and I'm always kind of leery when I'm that far off. Typically, I do some due diligence and dig deep and find out why. I don't see it. Wagner in a pick. There's a game for you.
One of our weekly guests and buddies was the play-by-play voice of Chicago State, so we know the program.
Really?
Yeah, Julio. Julio Rosario.
I
he did
that,
Chicago
yes.
State games for a couple of years. He's still on with us every week. He doesn't do the games anymore. It's sort of like students do it now and stuff. It's Chicago State, right? Not like the most. It's not the highest paying gig. It's not the highest paying gig in college basketball.
Students do it now. They don't have a guy. You're up.
Well, no, they don't have any money, right? Chicago State,
right.
like, they don't have money. Actually, you know what? They did get some transfers though. They're better than they used to be. They used to be like one of the worst teams in the country and get drilled. Then they were one of the worst teams in the country, but started to cover point spreads a little bit. And then suddenly they kind of got not respectable, but not terrible. Right? Suddenly, you know what I mean? They're sort of hanging around in some games. All right, Tony, before we get you out of here, baseball has started. I'm surprised you're not, you don't want Dave Roberts fired because the Dodgers are 0-2.
Trust.
I'm taking the Dodgers tomorrow. I'm just blind. I don't know nothing about the game. But I just say they won't go 0-3. They play the Kansas City Royals tomorrow. But all kidding aside, do you bet spring training baseball, Tony?
Very little. Not absolutely. I'm so busy looking at team totals. I'm still, I'm all in on a couple team totals already, but I'm kind of waiting for the Dodgers to climb maybe another game. I still think that's a tough number to reach, even as good as they are, as talented they are, Gabe, Cam. Listen, I like Arizona. I think this is a good team, a team that can challenge L.A. during the regular season. San Diego, not great, nothing super, but we know they're going to be good. Poor Colorado, right? The toughest division in baseball. That team with LA, it's a big number, 105.5. What do you have?
It's funny. I saw Max Muncy was talking about the Dodgers this year, and he brought up Arizona, actually, Tony. Yeah. And he said, he goes, you never really know with baseball, right? He goes, yeah, we're stacked. And he goes, look at Arizona. He goes, 2 years ago, they made it to the World Series. Yeah. And he goes, last year, they actually were better. He goes, technically, they got better players, and he goes, you figured they would have been better. And Muncy sort of brought up, he goes, I think Arizona will be tough this year. Like they were talking about like teams in the division and knocking the Dodgers off. And he said, everyone talks about San Diego all the time, but he goes, keep your eye on Arizona. He goes, they had a weird year last year, and we know Arizona will be good. So it's interesting. I got a couple of win totals I'm sitting on here. We'll get to it next week. I talked a little bit about it, but it's time to start breaking it down. Cam, you got a golf pick on the way out here?
Well, let me tell you a story about this kid, Pot Guider. He set a record today, okay? No, people don't know. Tony, it's amazing. He's not Russian.
He's the favorite to win the tournament now.
Yeah, but he's not going to win. I know what? This guy shot a 61, only the fourth player in PGA history to shoot at his age of 21. I got Steven Yeager, Gabe, but if you're looking for a guy that can come out from nowhere, Aaron Ryan Ginger, he's in the 3-hole right now. He's been knocking on the door. I got Yeager bomb. Watch out for Aaron Rye. This is a weekend tournament. This guy's right there. Love you guys.
Tony Finn, wagertalk.com. We'll see everybody on the Monday Night Meltdown. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.
Duke the 1, Houston the 2. They're the two best defensive teams in the country. I want to see them play for the right to go to the Final Four because I think that would be a kick-ass